Hey, this is Ben and Cole's product comparison. We chose hammers because being in the building trades major, we use hammers every day on the job site, and it's a very useful tool, and it's necessary for us to accomplish our job.
We based our hammers on 7 different criteria. We come up with cost, handle length, durability/materials, grip, weight of head, nail set, and claw type.
Cost is pretty self-explanatory. You don't want to break the bank on a hammer, but you also can afford to spend a little bit to get a high quality hammer. Vaughn came in first with this category because you can obviously see it's a lot cheaper than the other ones. Stanley and DeWalt were both very similar in price to the Vaughn. Milwaukee was the only one that was really kind of out there for their price range.
For handle length, the Vaughn come in first with a pretty average length of a handle, and the other Milwaukee and DeWalt were close. Well, they were all kind of close, I guess, but Vaughn was the mid-range. Handle length is also good for leverage, and because you don't want to always have a short-handled hammer where you can't pound anything in, so handle length's a good thing to have.
Next category was durability/material. The DeWalt, Stanley, and Milwaukee were all made out of steel, which is very solid material, lasts a long time. When you buy a hammer, you want something that's going to last, that you're not going to have to replace every couple of months because you use it every day. Vaughn came in last. It was made out of wood and just doesn't last as long as steel.
Next up is grip. You don't want a hammer that's uncomfortable in the hand. You're going to be using it for usually a lot of part of the day, so you're going to want something that fits your hand good and doesn't make it hurt. The Stanley came in first with a rubber handle. It seemed to fit your hand better, and DeWalt and Milwaukee come in second with plastic, and the Vaughn came in last with no grip.
Weight of head, this is important because you carry your hammer around with you all day on the job site. You're always on your feet carrying your hammer, and you don't want something too heavy that's going to weigh you down and make your day miserable, but you also don't want something too light that's going to make it hard to pound a nail in and take a long time to pound a nail in. So DeWalt came in first in this category with 22 ounces, which is a solid weight for a hammer. Vaughn came in close second at 19, Milwaukee at 17. Then the Stanley came in last because it's just at 28 ounces, and that's kind of getting up there in weight for a hammer that you're going to carry around all day.
For the nail set, it's a very useful accessory to have on the hammer. It makes starting nails a heck of a lot easier. It makes your job go faster as well. So the DeWalt and Milwaukee both had the nail set, and the Stanley and Vaughn did not.
Claw type, this is just use your claw mainly to take things apart, and we agreed that the Rip was the better claw type to have, which the DeWalt and Stanley have, just because you can use it for a variety of different ways of taking things apart and stuff like that. It's got a little more of a curve to it, so you can get more stuff done. Vaughn and Milwaukee had just a straight, which is also useful, but just doesn't have as many stuff you can do with it. And that's why we picked Rip over straight claw type.
So in conclusion, we came up with the DeWalt being the best hammer, giving the price, the nail set, and the weight. I mean, really all of the categories, it was among the top in all of them. And the Vaughn came in a close second. The material durability just wasn't quite there with the wood handle. It is still a good hammer, but just not quite there. And Stanley and Milwaukee came in third and fourth.
Stanley's also just a solid hammer. It just got a big knock for being pretty heavy, and you just can't really afford to carry that around all day on a job site. You get tired swinging your arm at pounding in nails all day. That you'd be surprised what that 6 ounces does. Really can fatigue you a lot faster. And then Milwaukee came in last pretty much solely because it was a lot more expensive than the other hammers. I mean, it's just as high quality as the other hammers, but the other hammers will get the job done just as good or better for a lot cheaper price. And that's why we picked the DeWalt first, Vaughn second, Stanley third, and Milwaukee fourth. Thanks for listening.